can never go wrong with a lip gloss break. Moisturize that situation right up. Love NYX Beauty a lot. Hi, my name is Chaida. I am a Black conservative content creator and writer, and this is my podcast where I discuss relevant issues surrounding people, society, culture, and politics. And today I'm going to be following a series that I've created called Fostered Stories. Foster Stories is my way of sharing my journey as a child through the foster care system here in the United States. By sharing my story, I am hoping to be creating awareness and being able to inspire people and motivate them to learn about issues that are happening in the foster care system near you. All right. So today's video, it's going to be a little bit different today. I'm going to be discussing about the top things that I think young adults who are aging out of the foster care system. This is going to be strictly for the adults that are going out of the system because these are things that I wished I had knew when I first aged out of the system. I aged out at 21 out of the state of Maryland foster care system. Yes. So in several states, you are allowed to stay in the foster care system up to age 21. In other states, it might be 18 and so on. So there are particular agendas and criterias that need to be met in order for a kid to stay in a system within a certain period of time. All right. But before I get started, I want to start with the scripture of the day. And in the scripture, you can find that in Matthew 5. And it says here in verse 3, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." I just love the Beatitudes so much. I Every time I'm ever feeling down or I'm going through something very heavy in my life, I always look towards the Beatitudes because it just encompasses so much of what I am feeling and so much what I have to look forward to. Okay, let's get started on those tips. Tip number one, getting a driver's license. Yeah, that's a big one. I don't know about a lot of the young adults who age out of the foster care system and what their journey was like getting a driver license, but I'm going to share mine. When I was aging out of the system, I only had my permits at the time. I had the state, or more so the county that I was a ward in, booked classes for me to able to learn how to drive behind the wheel and also instructional time. Social workers were able to take me to and from appointments when it came to the DMV and going to classes at the academy. When I moved to moved states and particularly moved to Virginia, that's when I really dug in my heels and really became independent. And then I was able to get my driver's license at age 22. And so I passed the test on the first try, the driving part, I guess, the driving test, not the other test. And I was so proud of myself, and I was just such at awe everything I was able to accomplish. with that being said, I think getting your driver's license is very important. Try to getting some state identification issue is also very important because uh, a lot of jobs really require you to have a lot of uh, state ID or some sort of identification on you. And a driver's license is also sometimes, depending on the industry and depending on the job, um, require you to have a driver's license of some sort. All right, so that's my little tidbit right there. We're going over to tip number 2. All right, and that is college or trade school. Do not go into trade school or college if you feel like you are not ready. And I think this needed to be said when I was when I first graduated high school. Not first, but when I graduated high school and was now exploring other opportunities, I went straight from graduation into college. Just literally walked off the stage, grabbed my diploma, which really like the folder they give you, and you get your diploma afterwards, like in the mail or something. And I headed right straight off to college that summer. And for a lot of kids who grew up in stability, for a lot of young adults, they'd be able to they're able to have that stability to transition well. Me, myself, I didn't really have that stability. A lot of my life for the next 4 years beyond the age of 18, beyond high school, were very much question mark, if that makes sense. There, there were a lot of unknowns. I went to college with the idea that in 4 years, I would have a college degree. Uh, Not knowing what my life will look like then. And I think that going into that mindset is just very isolating because there are a lot of people who do not understand, who are around you, who do not understand the path that you have been made to walk. And even though they sympathize and they can offer you resources, there's never truly um, unless they have walked in your shoes, they're never going to truly understand where you are coming from. So I say go to college, go to trade school on your own time. If you want to take that gap year or a semester long break and just explore opportunities, maybe get a job. And that's another tip that I'm going to share later on. Get a job and just learn how to become independent. And then when you feel emotionally, situationally, and more importantly, mentally ready to go to college, then you can start looking at opportunities to go to college. And certain states offer free tuition waivers to students that age out of the foster care system. There are certain criteria that needs to be meet, and each state is individually run when it comes to the tuition waiver exemption. So you want to look into the state where you grew up in the foster care system and be able to check out what benefits you might be offered. Tip number 3, get a job. When I was a ward in the state of Maryland, when I was 18 and becoming a transitional youth and aging out of the system, I did not get a job until I was well into my 20s. And if I could go back in time, I probably would have told younger Chaida to go get a job. And do not be so reliant on some of the instruments that the states might offer you uh, to help you make you cozy, because it's putting you in that taker's mentality, and you do not know how to get a worth ethic, and you don't know the value of a dollar, and you don't know the meaning of having independence until you have that first job and you're starting to pay your own bills, and now you got and now you got all these responsibilities. You got to make your managers happy. You got to be able to go to work on time. You have to be able to pay your bills, and more importantly, try to pay them on time. And that's why I like the idea of moving in different states, because it forced me out of that safety net that wasn't really much a safety net, and pushed me towards taking on risk and taking on challenges, and allowing me to grow the independence that I needed to have in order to become a successful adult in my life, and more importantly, a productive member of society. So yeah, get a job. Don't be so reliant. Start when you are in that transitional phase where you're staying in the system until you're 21, or you age out 18 and you're coming up on those years. You want to start building that independence. And the more importantly, the way that you can find that independence is really linking up with somebody. Maybe you get your social worker. I know certain departments, various social services department, offer resources for job opportunities and Section 8 housing and different housing opportunities for people who are vulnerable to being homeless, because especially those who age out of the system, because statistically, if you age out of the system, you are most likely to end up being homeless, which is a tragic situation for a lot of young adults in the system. So that's why I am such a huge proponent of pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps, getting a job, and start making your own money so you're not too reliant on the government. Tip number 4. All right, we're getting close. We're getting close. This one is a very personal one, and it's something that I do not take lightly. And that is cut off toxic relationships, whether that be family, school wise, co-workers. Just cut off any toxic relationships that are going on in your life, or be sure to create boundaries with those people. I know I would not be where I am. I would not be the woman that you are watching today if I did not take the appropriate measurements in instilling boundaries in my life with people who just breed off toxicity wherever they go. And you don't have to cut off people for the rest of your life, but you need to create a time and a place where you are separated from those individuals who keep breeding toxic energy towards your way. And that's a really huge one. And if you could do that, then I promise you, you can soar. You will be able to fly off the mountains. Like literally the world is your oyster and you are the pearl. If you get that reference, you do. If you don't, you don't. It's okay. Tip number 5. All right. Plan for your life. Make sure you're always looking out for what you want to do with your life. You don't need to have the rest of your life prepared, but you have to get the next maybe 3 to 5 years ready. What do you want your life to look like in 3 years? Or what do you want your life to look like in 5 years? And if you have that sense of what you want your life to look like and where you want to be, start taking the measured steps. Maybe you want to create a goal in mind, create small goals and reach those goals so you can reach the bigger goals, and that is your futuristic self, where you want to be, whether that's living, where you're living, the job you want to have, school, where you want to pursue that degree, or you want to hold back and do something else first, or you want to go to trade school and be able to get that certification in that in specific industry that you've been looking forward to, and you want to be able to run your own business one day. Whatever your future might look like, and that is really on an individual basis, start planning for it. Create small goals here and there so you can work on those bigger goals, and that is your future self. So, if you have made it to this part of the video, thank you so much. Thank you for your continuous support. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. And if you're watching this podcast on any other platform besides YouTube, please give me a follow and like this video, and be sure to leave a comment telling me how great or how badly I did, or if you have any thoughts to what I shared in the video. And if you were somebody who grew up in the foster care system, and or if you're somebody that is growing up in the foster care system today, right now, I want to send you all the love and all the kisses and all the hugs in the world, because I want you to know that you are so loved, you are so worth it, you are worth the more than the rubies that God designed. And God brought you into this world because He had a plan for you, and nobody is ever gonna be able to take that away. Okay? If you're hearing this, this is me, okay? If you're watching this and you're listening to this, this is me, Chaida, your big foster sister, telling you that you are worth it. And you have a whole life ahead of you, and you just can't even see it yet. So with that being said, if you like to get any insight into my life, you can follow me on any of my social media platforms. The links are provided in the show's description. And if you are a returning guest to my show, thank you so much for your continuous support. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this podcast. I love you always. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next time.